I know you see. No,
Wait, hold up. Are you messing with the wire?
So are
Yeah, we're trying to
recording as well?
Oh yeah, you're recording on
Yeah, I am recording.
If you didn't know, this week I forgot that.
We're recording. Yeah, I've been recording for 20 seconds. Great, this is awesome. We're doing it, boys. We're doing it. Welcome back.
Oh
It
my
feels
God.
so fucking
Welcome
good.
back to Amnesia Party.
Dude, I really can't believe it's been this long.
It's been like a solid month.
a solid month. It's been for sure over an hour. For sure.
For sure over an hour.
For
I
sure.
could be wrong.
I mean, if you're binging it on YouTube, it would be like maybe a couple minutes.
Which I'm probably going to be the only one to binge it, besides everyone else at the table, because I
And you were.
See which one likes the shiny click-clack rocks.
shiny click clack rocks that go click clack.
Click-clack.
Welcome back to Amnesia Party. Welcome back to episode 4. It's been a while, so just to kind of recap what happened last. The party had woken up in a cathedral, not knowing who they are and who the other people in the room were. Without any of their gear or equipment, they wandered around the cathedral looking for answers, only to find a laboratory where, upon further inspection, their gear and equipment was reacquired, and a were-rat was released and killed one of the other party members, after which the party moved on. Farewell.
Yes.
Who?
Quickly going down the road, they stumbled upon the small town of Tetelesi, where they met a couple of... No.
Gosh, damn.
Where they met a couple of the locals, a young boy named Damiel, who recognized Enigma. Oh?
Excuse me.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Please put your phone away.
Please turn your phones to silent,
Where
please.
they, and then his father, Lyven? Yeah, Lyven.
Yeah, was it?
They also met with, they were instructed to go and talk with Jossie Montreux, who had last spoken to Thalia Grave. Thalia Grave was, the name Thalia Grave was found in several instances throughout the cathedral, and several signs pointed to her being behind the capture or employment of some of the party members. Without any knowledge as to anyone's connection with Thalia, Jossie asked to reclaim a payment that was due to him from Thalia in the amount of 3,000 gold. Though no information was given as to the whereabouts of Thalia or where the gold could be, that was asked to be retrieved in exchange for certain gifts. Enigma, in particular, was tasked with bringing this back, being given and lent a short sword. Other items were lent. I believe Dwayne was given a whip. We were given a scythe, Cytheris. Meanwhile, in the woods just east of Tetelesi, a scythe. A sickle. A sickle. In the woods just east of Tetelesi, Amon and Rick wandered around looking for Danielle's lost dog. They found the dog some ways through a forest path and up a stream. A little friend. A little bit of blood on the fur, though the dog seemed uninjured. They brought the dog back to the joy of Damiel. They had also noticed, before they had gone out their separate ways, Baki had left the group and wandered off on his own. And that is where we begin today. So Baki, this is kind of playing with time a little bit. While the rest of your group was going to go about their own chores and quests for the day, you went off on your own that morning.
Okay, yeah.
You have a couple different directions that you can go. You can go into town, speak to some of the locals. You can go down to the shores of the Lac Doré, which is the nearby lake. Or you can go and explore some of the fields around Tennessee. Is there anything that you feel particularly drawn to today?
What was the third one again?
Just go walk around the fields. You can really, you can do whatever you'd like. You're wandering off.
I'm gonna go wander the fields.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what
You spend most of the day wandering around the fields, and as it gets closer to evening time, you pass through. You do notice that the fields are pretty expansive. It's kind of the feeling that this is where the majority of the grain and other harvests are reaped for this part of Voltaire. You do see plenty of workers in the field, and some of them go in and out of town, depending on what their shifts are. But go and make a perception check for me.
7.
7? Okay. So as you're walking, you do feel glimpses of memory coming back to you, similarly to how they had come back to you on the walk to Tennessee.
Okay.
A few memories of a beautiful woman. You're not familiar with her name, but there's a beautiful woman in your mind's eye, and she's talking to you in a language that you don't understand.
Okay.
And as this memory kind of falls in and out of your focus, it distracts you to the point where you seemingly get lost in some of the fields of corn. And it's in about 15 minutes before you realize that it's going to be getting dark soon. You kind of look around and you're lost in a cornfield.
Alright. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send my little companion spot the way.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess that's all I'll do. I guess I'm gonna have him fly up and just show me where town is.
Have you remembered the name of your bird yet?
Kevin.
Not quite remembering the name of your bird. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Temporary.
You send Kevin kind of flipping the little metallic statue up, and you watch as it unfolds into this live bird, and it begins circling above you before it starts kind of flying in a direction.
Okay. I'll follow in direction.
Okay.
I'll start right. Actually, I'm gonna run just because it's getting dark. So I'm gonna run.
So as you follow for about 10 minutes before you come to a break in the cornfield. And you see in front of you is a long slope of a hill that leads down towards a small river. It seems to be running on the outskirts of a forest edge. You look around and you notice this is not Tennessee. This is not the town. It's just a body of water. Make another perception check for me.
That's better. 21. That's a lot better. Thank you.
So at the edge of the forest, you see what looks to be a figure clad in some sort of armor. but it's very form-fitting armor. It's almost as if the armor is like the skin of whatever figure this is. It looks humanoid,
Okay.
and it looks a little familiar to you, but you're not quite sure why it looks familiar to you, but it does. And you watch as it seems to notice you, turn to you, and then it turns back and heads into the forest. You notice at this point that it is getting darker in the sky. You still have plenty of visible light to see,
Okay.
but you gather that it's probably another hour before it's going to be
dark,
before it becomes too difficult to see.
I have an idea. Okay. I'm gonna send my falcon to follow him while I head back into town. Can I do that? Like, can he like follow and then come back to me? Or
Yeah.
is that
It's so you have a certain range where you can send your bird to go do things,
okay?
but after a certain range, you're not going to be able to communicate with your bird. So you can give it, you can, for example, you can say, follow this for a certain amount of time and then come back, or at a certain point in time, come back and return. Otherwise, your bird's just going to be following.
I'm gonna tell him to follow him for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Solid 10 minutes. Just see where he's going and then come back. Just tell me.
And are you heading back towards?
Yeah, I'll start slowly
the other
walking
way?
back. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so like, I have time to.
This will jump to the rest of the party. The last thing that the pair of you remember seeing is Damiel staring out into the forest, the little beagle puppy prancing about his feet, and then Damiel returning to his chores near the side of the barn where you had left him. It is getting darker in the evening. The three of you had gone to Jossie and conversed and gotten spare bits of equipment, not in great condition. You had given up your instrument.
Of course.
You had gotten a short sword and it had been revealed to you that Jossie was one of the ones who had partially reconstructed you. On your portable workshop, the latch it had his initials engraved there. So some of his handiwork that had gone into repairing your body. You got a sickle.
Oh hell yeah!
And given up you gave up your cards. You gave up cards. Is there anything that y'all would like to do? It seems to be getting the day is probably going to be coming to a close within the next couple of hours. Is there anything else I would like to do before evening draws near? Y'all are still currently in the center of town, whereas the two of you are by the barn.
Is there a town crier? Spouting news or
No, So no, go ahead. Yeah, if y'all are talking in character, go for it. Yeah,
Alright.
go ahead.
Yeah, I love this.
You like to be in town? Or go meet him at the barn?
Maybe we should play it safe and go to the bar.
So the whole thing about the blood, it wasn't the dog's blood.
That is very suspicious, I must admit.
That's it. Cool. And you're looking for a town crier?
was anyone who was shouting news of some sort, if there's no one in the vicinity.
There doesn't appear to be anyone shouting news. There does seem to be what appears to be like a message board near the well that's in the center of town.
I shall look at that.
Yeah.
What about that Delora lady or whoever that was? Who the fuck is that? Tivian fucking guy.
Yeah, Tivian Delora. That was Jossie had mentioned that Tivian Delora was going to be someone that you could possibly talk to. That he didn't know anyone who had. Also, I'm kind of giving y'all a little bit of extra help because it has been a month. And a lot of that stuff is probably like, wait, why did I write this? What does this mean?
Yeah,
So-
my notes make no sense. They're
Yeah.
like, dwarf man, short, angry,
Angry.
fuck him. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
does it want me to fuck
I
him
don't
or
know what that
or
means.
like fuck this dude? Like,
So yeah,
I don't understand.
I'll definitely help y'all out and answer some questions about stuff for a little bit. Not how long, but to answer your question, Jossie had said that Tivian Delora, while he doesn't know if Tivian had spoken to Thalia, Tivian is kind of helps run the town.
Well, I say we go check out his TV and find out his secrets.
Well, I believe first we should maybe indulge in the local lore. Maybe look at this message board and see what people are talking about in the area. We need help with maybe random farm jobs, or maybe they're all getting killed by stuff.
Good damage.
Sure.
Maybe some contracts.
Okay. Well, do it.
No, you didn't.
No.
So yeah,
I'm like, do
I roll to walk up to the
I
message
roll
board.
to read.
No, yeah. So the message board seems pretty bare, other than a couple of small scraps of paper, written in very poor handwriting. Is the name Tutelisi scrawled across the sheet of paper, and there's also a small ledger that seems to be almost like a sign-up sheet. Oh my god!
Naturally does that.
We are
Alright.
not endorsed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it seems to just be a ledger, and you see maybe a couple dozen names on there. It seems to be like some sort of sign-up sheet for. It seems to be some sort of sign-up sheet for laborers in the fields. There also is a small. It does seem to be a more recent note that Jesus Christ.
Dude, what?
I just want to get this. I'm trying to
rolling a one on the deck.
Oh my
God. Beautiful.
This is terrible. This is
Natural one. ladies and
agonizing.
gentlemen.
Natural one,
Look
right
at the
here.
fucking thing.
How the fuck this doesn't work?
This is gonna roll natural one as well.
Is that not what I was doing?
It's
Ah.
You gotta find someone.
Get that in
You're
challenge.
making fun of me now.
You gotta wedge it in.
you're kidding me.
Molten phase.
I arrest my case, Brandon.
Handing me mallet.
That's it. Hand me mallet.
I did it good the first time.
Welcome to Rolls for Rolls, where we try to open a Coke bottle for like 20 minutes. No, I know.
See?
Yeah,
I'm not the only
yeah,
one.
yeah.
You can't make fun of me.
No, I'm
You
not.
can't make
No, I'm
fun
on
of
your
me.
side now, Mark. I'm on
You
your
can't
side.
make fun of me, guys. I swear I'm not that. Well, kind of.
Oh my god.
Excuse the camera.
Nah, I don't want to ruin your table. That would be so mean.
Not at the table.
Oh, right, sorry.
This is literally what I opened that other bottle with.
Dude, yeah,
Exact
I
same
saw
one.
that. Bro, what the fuck?
Wow.
This is beautiful.
Maybe it's the cap.
Maybe it's the cap. I mean, man, maybe. But it looks the same to me as. Oh, this is hilarious. This is not how I expected. I love this.
It's the
hilarious.
sign-up
I love
sheet
this.
for what?
So it's the sign-up sheet for laborers in the field.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna wait because we got 3 people up from the table trying to open a Coke bottle.
God, he's gonna see the fucking lip.
Couldn't see the little groove.
This better be the greatest goddamn Coke of your life. You're not even paying attention.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Takes the Mexican in one contact on.
Cheers, boy.
Should check the light on. It's a lot easier.
Is it good? Is it worth it?
Is it amazing?
Oh, goddamn, the sugar cane.
Alright.
Difference.
Okay, so first one's a sign-up sheet for laborers.
It's a
What's the
sign-up
second
sheet
thing?
for laborers in the field. Also, there is a more ornate-looking, more recent-looking paper that has been tacked up there,
Rich people.
and it seems to be written in very formal handwriting,
Rich.
detailing the arrival of the. Let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. The Baron Chanray Delico.
I would like to say right there. Wait. I would have started reading this, got to that name, and like, no. and then walked away.
So as the two of you are still reading, you watch that there is just
It would have been like,
just got upset over
It is
something
chaos.
apparently.
No, pass.
And never trust the French. But the Baron's arrival within the fortnight seems to be signed by Tivian's name. Tivian Delora had placed this up here, announcing the arrival of the Baron within the fortnight. Don't you dare.
I already done it 115 times every time you said Fortnite. Jump ups.
Alright, so what y'all do?
Well, it's getting dark and we should go back and at least relay to them the information we already got. Maybe they found something. If anything,
Sure, why not?
If anything,
Check
he
out
said
this.
he had some supplies that we could take to the city across the river. Or not river.
Lake. Yeah.
Lake. I have amnesia. It's hard to remember things.
I understand. I'm right here with
Well,
you, buddy. Don't
Then
worry
yes,
about
we
it.
shall proceed onward. Lead the way, Sir Robot Man.
I'll leave them.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Lead the
I
way.
just start walking. I don't say anything.
Just
Don't say
I
anything.
just, they all
What in the
run
hell are
catch
these
up.
guys? We're just sitting like a
one day
Duel.
he will
Misfits
rule
right here.
us all.
got a fur block and
Oh,
a draw.
Of
sitting
course
down
you
in the
will.
nowhere.
Making your way back to the barn in a brisk beeline, you do make your way back, and you see that both Amon and Rick are sitting there.
Oh, it's out.
Alright, cut it short.
No, yeah, no, it's good. I was like, I've got to pause, otherwise it's gonna be like 20 seconds in a row.
It would have been a lot.
Yeah. Are sitting outside the barn, waiting for your arrival. It's at this moment that you also see approaching Baki, who had been gone for most of the day, pretty much all the day. As soon as you woke up, you saw Baki leave the barn, and now you see Baki returning. Baki, as you get to the barn,
Kevin? Oh shit, come here, buddy.
does he stay as a bird, or do you wanna
Actually, yeah, stay with yeah. Just go with yeah.
perches on your shoulder? You all arrive back at the barn.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
pretty good, I suppose. How are you?
You know
What you been
me.
doing all day, buddy?
Exploring the fields, man.
Oh,
Find anything interesting?
Saw a figure out there. He had some interesting armor on. Seemed kind of familiar, but I couldn't put a finger on it. Like, couldn't recognize him, but he just
Seems to be the common problem we're all having.
yeah. Say it's like we have
You two find anything?
amnesia.
He said the thing!
He did it!
can't cut
Just have
that.
symbols right here. And, like, someone says amnesia.
We ran an errand for the boy's father. We did stumble across some suspicious
Some suspicious shit.
sounds.
There was blood all over the ground. I do not understand. He
I
tested
say-
it.
What kind
You
of
should
blood?
check it out.
Yeah.
What kind of blood was it? Human blood?
We have no idea. We
Bloody time.
found the dog there. It didn't come from the dog. We have no idea.
Shit.
So
How far would you say it is? Of a walk from here? That was
about an hour track, right? Isn't it?
It was a couple hours. It was like it was 2 hours back from the campsite.
Yeah.
It's-
I said
So
not at night.
Yeah.
What time is it now?
Visibility and
It's about 8 in the evening.
In the evening.
Yeah.
2 hours now. 2 hours back.
yeah.
Well,
it's getting late, y'all. Reckon
I
we
guess
just
we can
get a
we can check
rest?
that out in the morning. We gleaned some information from Sir Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh god. Don't worry, I will never pronounce the names properly.
Of course.
The lady never paid him either. for the
Pay
work.
who?
Jesse. He helped with the
This
death
Jesse's
trap we
house.
were in.
Oh,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
Um
I'm being kind of old, you know how it is.
yeah. Well, he said he would pay us if we brought his money from her. Not that any of us know where that is, I'd like to.
So,
But he did say that he could have some work for us taking some supplies if we wanted to get out of what I believe to be a backwater town. There was one fine piece of parchment, and the other one was scrawled with things that resembled letters. They tried.
So wait, I was just writing, just call it a night tonight, yeah? It's getting late anyways.
Right now,
That's
well,
Good man.
I'm gonna burn my last meditation real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to switch my spell to Encode Thoughts.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast it on myself.
Okay.
So,
You're trying to pull a memory.
yeah. Anything.
Anything?
I can, and I have to have it pulled for 8 hours before I can put it back in.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured if we're going to bed, I'll.
Would you like to describe to the party what they see as you do this?
I mean, I guess the easiest way to describe it would be that scene in that movie with those famous wizard people, and he puts the stick to his head and pulls the thing out and puts it in a big cauldron. It's kind of like that, except I just pull it out and hold it. So I'm holding this
Beautiful.
big, milky, like just swirling mass.
Ambiguous object.
Yeah.
And y'all are all
I ain't
comfortable
no
with
back
this.
end,
This
Sally.
is fine run of the day. You know.
Alright, listen here, Amon, alright?
Now listen,
I
I've never
understand your words, brother. Let the man do his work.
I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing, okay? But the way this spell is supposed to work is you're supposed to be able to pull a memory out of anything.
Like out of your ass or something?
Out of anything. I could pull a memory out of you and 8 hours later know what that memory was because I put it in me and know what it is now.
That's true shit.
And I'm pulling my own memory in the hopes that I can
Remember.
something, anything. I don't care what it is. And if any of you want me to do it to you after I remember something and it works, I'll do it. I don't care. You might not want to, though. You
I
seem a little sketched out by all of this.
think it would be safe to say yes.
You were in your own
Amon, you interested?
I just like tuck it.
Nah, I think I'm
in
good.
my-
I think I'm fine with just being a simple boy. I don't mind.
I curl up on a
You
piece
are
of
pretty
hay.
short.
As its ways, I'll figure it out.
Simple
I think it's also good to remember that Dwayne's face is covered, or is painted to look like a tiger right now.
Yes, it is.
Oh, don't worry. I have
And
not
I
forgotten.
am big and cool right now. I'm just saying.
Trust me,
Shoot.
Jesse did not stop looking at you.
Was it-
Every time you would cut him off and say something, he'd be like, "Weird little tiger man."
Is it like
Didn't have the heart to tell him.
Is it convincing or not
No,
Not
it's
convincing.
bad.
It's a
I
bad
remember
tiger.
that. I remember he
Nah,
looked
I
at me and
remember
it
the
was
tiger.
just like orange, black, maybe a little more orange, and then just black.
Were you attacked, or is what is on his face? I don't understand.
He was trying to blend in.
I'm
With
ferocious.
With
Ah,
what,
you know,
an orange and black jungle?
Like,
I still don't understand.
like war paint?
yes,
That's
but it
interesting.
is. It is cute. I'm not gonna
shit.
lie. I think I look pretty cute.
Alright, Mr. Rick.
Shoot. Had me shame.
I look like a damn child just paint on his
I've gone to
Damn,
bed.
what you mean?
I'm going straight to bed.
I'm already
I'll-
asleep in the corner. They've
Okay.
started this conversation, and I was like,
I just hope you find a mirror one day.
You do you, Rick.
Shit, buddy, I don't need no mirror. I believe in myself. I'm a tiger.
Are you afraid?
One question, just before we end this conversation.
I know what
What
that-
sound does a
I
tiger
know what
make?
that is. Come on, buddy. It's obviously raw. Jeez.
Good night.
Good night.
Tips his hat.
I'm out. Enigma, is there anything else you'd like to do before you go to bed?
I just wanted to get rid of
Amon, anything else you'd like to do?
Steve.
Okay. And with that, yeah, the evening is going to draw to an end. Everyone seems to have a pretty decent sleep. No one really stirs. But in the morning, there is a loud bang, and you are all awoken very suddenly.
Oh, Jesus.
Shit.
Can't just be a normal day.
Followed by barking, joyous barking, and before you know it, you are awoken by many wet kisses to the face as a dog is jumping from person to person.
Oh
all-
shit, a pup!
Oh, it's wet.
That's what she said.
Take it away.
I wanna grab him. I'm trying to grab him. I wanna try to grab the dog.
Make a dexterity check.
Dexterity.
I'm gonna whisper, Rich. Does that dog look familiar?
8 plus 3,
Yeah, this
11?
is the dog from. Yeah, this is the beagle.
11.
11.
Yeah.
This is your first roll in a month.
Yeah, 19 plus stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah, as you go to grab this beagle puppy that has been that has woken you, it slips right through your hands, and it begins prancing around, and it begins nuzzling up to both Amon and Rick.
Mr.
Very quickly after is Damiel running into the barn. Come back! Come back!
Who's that? What's that voice?
Yeah. I guess
The boy.
I would try nudging the dog, like towards like Daniel.
Yeah,
Like, go on.
Go on.
Damiel picks it up. Good morning. I'm so sorry. I hope I did not wake you. He did not
you
wake
did, buddy.
you.
You did. Don't worry.
Oh,
It's all good though.
I'm sorry.
We just had the best of days.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's very loud.
Just gonna put that over here. Just gonna put that over here.
Just
Good morning, sir, Daniel.
I'm sorry.
Daniel.
What?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so sorry. My dog woke you up. Did you all sleep well?
As well as one would suppose.
Good. Good. Enigma. You have not remembered anything yet? No. Well, thank you for your help earlier this morning. That was very helpful of you. I know it was very, very early in the morning, but my father really appreciated what you did earlier this morning. It was very nice. By earlier this morning means about 6 o'clock
Oh
this
god.
morning, when you were still fast asleep. Thank you very much for your help. Well, anyway, I do have my chores to do. I'm just chasing down my dog. I will see you later.
Bye.
He begins running off further into the barn. He watches. He sets the dog down and begins trying to find tools.
So what did you help him with this morning?
I have no idea. Did you hear me get up?
No.
Do you sleepwalk, my guy?
Do you sleep, my guy?
That's a better question, Sal. I like that. Do you even sleep? Yeah.
Do you feel?
God, everyone's sensitive of you. Of course he has feelings.
Listen here, Amon.
Of course I sleep.
But
It's more so just like powering down, and you still retain your senses, but you are like on low power mode for all intents and purposes.
so you booted out of low power mode and did something. Apparently that was helpful. Good job.
We should find out what it
Probably, yes, very quickly.
Tonight, one of us should
No,
stay up.
yes.
No.
Now we have to take watches.
Well,
I check my thing. Is it there?
Your thing is there.
Okay. Has it been 8 hours?
Yes, it is.
I shove it into my noggin. Like, I want to state, these guys literally just see him go, swirly mass. Oh.
Straight into four.
Like an egg.
Like an egg, yeah.
It's
So what
like
I'm
an
saying.
egg. Just
Like
smash.
an egg shattering.
I thought you were eating it for a minute.
No, just
smack it.
Ka!
Oh, shit.
Small bits
I don't know how this
of
works.
milky energy seem to just splash off, and as before they fall and hit the ground or any one of you, they seem to fizzle into nothingness. You watch as Cytheris' eyes roll back for just a moment, and then
What the fuck was that?
then 1,000-yard stare.
You couldn't see that shit?
Pretty wild. Try to get him. Like,
Now this is
But
true.
he- nothing.
He seems to be unresponsive. Seems to be in that 1,000-yard stare for a second.
Looks like he's dead to me.
Cytheris. In the second and a half that you are in this 1,000-yard stare, you experience quite a lot.
Great. I mean, great.
Your childhood.
Was it nice? No. No.
Never is.
Never mind.
It had its moments. It had its joys. And it seems like it was more so like flipping through a book rather than reading each page. Sort of running your finger along the edge of a book and letting the pages
Yeah.
flop open. But you get the gist of most everything.
Had a childhood. I was a child, in fact, at one point.
At some point,
At least.
some bits and pieces come back. And that's it. What memories you'd like to share are up to you. But I'll leave that up to you.
so still, like we said, it was like half a second.
Yeah, after
So
my
I guess so I guess the second.
Yeah,
third
I've been
snap
like,
was
oh, that was interesting. I remember growing up, and I remember at one point I hated everything and everyone, but I don't now. So I guess that's
you got that out from that little.
yeah, the little milky thing. Would you like one?
That's pretty.
No, I'm good, bro. I'll be honest. I'm straight.
Let's give him one. He can tell us in 8 hours if we don't figure it out.
Well,
Granted
that's
the
up to him.
circumstances. Granted the circumstances, yeah.
See if
I'm not really
Okay.
going with things.
Just
So,
simple
noggin.
finger touch to the head. Just
Noggin.
pull it out.
You feel a weird sensation of intense cold and intense heat that seem to fight for each other in a moment, and then nothing, and a little bit of a pleasant weight off your shoulders as the same milky orb of energy is pulled from your head. It's a little bit different colored than Cytheris's, but it still has that same kind of milky white, almost blue, semi-translucent look.
Would you like to hold it? It's useless for 8 hours, but in 8 hours you can give it to anything you want. If you don't want to remember, you can let someone else remember. That's what happens. If you lose it, it's gone. You'll never remember. So I hope it wasn't important.
With the sounds of barking further back in the barn, it is about 8 o'clock in the morning. And what would you like to do for the day?
Man, guys, I'm pretty hungry. You want to say we go down and get some breakfast?
That is a good idea.
Maybe a drink
Breakfast?
or two.
That's breakfast.
But breakfast for sure, yeah? Set?
Well, yes, breakfast. Someone.
We'll stay
To
later.
get some grits.
I'll take
I'll
later.
take
I'll take later.
Oh yeah.
I'll take later. To eat time.
Where y'all getting food from?
We're gonna raid the young guys. Just gonna walk in. Just
We're gonna find.
Well, I personally am going to vote that maybe we walk into the town square and see if maybe something looks like a restaurant. And then offer some services for some food because we're broke.
Oh,
Or-
shit.
I say we just raid
How about we
him
just
in
gather
his
some food?
house.
Listen,
I ain't trying to work or nothing. Come on now.
You're short. What can you do, Dwayne? Come on, man.
Come on now.
I can
I can
safely
reach the
say, sir,
countertop.
that if you go and raid anything and the authorities show up, I will turn you in without hesitation.
And you're like,
And I will have gladly eaten the food as well.
Go ahead. Well, of course.
Um,
What
focus fire.
what do y'all think? Should we
Aim
We
on
can-
going in there.
there's
Go to town.
there's two options, real options that don't involve robbing people we don't know. There's go out into the woods and hunt something. I agree with that.
I'm asking my falcon to guide.
Go
or
into
to-
town and beg.
I think we'll be.
Or we can
Or
starve, and 4 people can harvest berries and hunt, while 2 people go and talk to Jossie about taking the job. And then we can. I don't fucking know what
We gotta figure out where. We just still gotta remember why we're here. But, gotta eat first, because I'm pretty hungry.
We would have a better time looking for food than Becky.
we're going to do. Not me.
I mean, if we were listening, we could probably use all our abilities or whatever we
I can
have.
safely say, if
I'm-
you want to talk to anybody, want them coerced into doing something, you want them lied to, you want me to charm them, I can do all of these things with ease. You want me to find something? No.
Maybe we.
Also, I cannot do any form of magic right now, other than his memory.
Maybe we should split up into teams.
As I was saying, 4 people go forth to gather foods for the journey that we're
You're
going
the-
to take on his
You're the
horses.
social type.
I think I'm
I
gonna
say
go
you
see
should go to
TV.
town, but you need someone to
have
go
some of
to.
my berries. I'll catch up with you boys later. Perhaps. I'll let you know. Let you know when I find out about this thaw leaf.
Where are you going?
See TV.
You're going where, Dwayne?
The TV in the door.
Sure, we shall go there then. We shall go there.
Well, I was just gonna go there.
I'll go.
You want to come with?
Okay.
If
You guys
die,
find some food. We'll meet
shoot.
back
I'll
here
go-
in
who wants to go
what time
hunting
is
with
it?
me?
roughly. It's what,
You
like
agree? All right,
7 a.m.,
Amon.
8 a.m.,
Yeah, it was 8 o'clock whenever y'all woke
Rich
up,
is
so it's
cooking
maybe a little after 8.
8:30.
I'm
meet back
leading
here
the-
by
I'm
noon.
leading the hunting pack.
Are we coming with us too, Rick? Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the 4 of you in the hunting pack, be back here by noon. We are on a time crunch, sir. No dilly dally.
Damn.
That was
Noon.
righteous.
And directly into the.
I want you to know right now. I
Yeah.
want you to know right now that I imagine you doing that in character and sit there and it's just. Oh Lord. Not going to last long.
Was that really
It's,
I
when
try
you
to
got
go away
time
for a
in-
bit.
Come, my little friend.
Alright, Rick, can we take lead?
I'm killing.
Alright.
I'll lead the
Alright.
I like this.
So let's go with the hunting party. That'll be fun. So, y'all are just gonna go into the woods east of Chatelisi and try and
Rick,
hunt
what
for
do you
game.
plan on? What do you plan we reckon we do? I can use my
So-
falcon here to, see what's out there, take lead.
So, while my previous trek in the forest where I was at, do I see remember any tracks of different type of animal else in that area? Remember this?
Make a
Oh wait, dude, I'm like fantastic.
make a. I mean, technically, this would be like a history check to see if you can recall this information. But Baki, do you have your Falconer's brew?
Yes.
Make sure you're marking off usages.
Yeah, I still have one
of
left
the-
right now. Yeah. Oh, that's what I should have done.
So history?
Just
Yeah.
Damn, I still have one left.
11.
You do recall seeing that there were other forms of wildlife and fauna.
I'm not able to specify what type of size. It was like medium size, light size.
There weren't any very heavy tracks. You don't remember seeing any heavy tracks. Probably not large game, but you'd recall seeing small fauna.
I feel this. No large animals here. Small game. Ain't gonna find much. So you just get enough to get by. Nothing more. Make it fast. Berries, whatever we can scrap.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
What y'all doing?
So go to the make trek to the part of the forest we last when I cut through looking for a dog. Since I know that area.
Sure.
Alright, so go ahead and try to scout out for berries or anything.
Make a nature check.
Oh wait, no.
Say oof. 5.
5.
Maybe that's one to back me up. Well,
It's fairly difficult. It's going to take you a long time, but you are able to gather berries. But you yourself, to gather maybe a couple pounds of berries, probably take you until you're leaving at noon. You said,
yeah, whatever time crunch I have.
yeah, it'd probably take you the entire time to gather about 3 pounds.
That'll be me myself.
That'd just
Yeah,
be
so I'll do
by
that.
yourself.
I'll
You
do
do it
that.
for the 3. Okay.
Be my part.
There's 3 pounds of berries.
I will also search for food.
Are you scavenging?
All of you.
for-
Whatever,
All right.
whatever's edible.
Roll a nature check.
Yeah, I told them what I saw in there.
I'm gonna
11.
use Kevin.
11.
11.
You're able to find 3 pounds in about half the amount of time.
Nice.
So if there's something else that you'd like to do, then you can, or if you just want to double up your time, you can get 6 pounds.
Yeah.
You want to double up?
Yeah, I'll double.
Cool. We'll consider it like that.
That's a lot of fucking berries.
It's like more than 2 ounces, I think.
Not super nutritious berries
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, we're not sure really like what ties.
As long as I'm shitting my brains out, I'm going to be.
Probably.
Oh lord.
And so, what are you doing?
I'm gonna use Kevin
You're using
to
Kevin?
see if he sees any. Actually, just to see if he sees, I guess, any wildlife.
Sure. Make a perception check for Kevin. And it's. Do you remember what the bonus is for Kevin?
What do you mean by bonus?
The bonus to perception.
Oh, it's just 3.
Okay.
I think. I mean, that's what it says on here. I don't know. I get an
But
extra.
that's your specific. One second.
Oh, actually, I don't think I ever wrote that. Or no, actually, I had extra percent.
One second.
I'll write it down. Oh, I should make some more moment.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Oh,
That's all I say too.
It's getting there.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Is it
It's
getting
coming.
is he getting there?
It's getting there. There it is.
Good, good, good.
Back it up. Back it up.
Back into it.
Back it up.
I believe. Almost there. Almost there.
We're almost there. We're getting there. I can feel it coming.
I can feel it coming. Oh my goodness! Come on. +4.
So +4 + 7 or 4 + 3? Because the 3 already have, or is it just? +4
No,
to
it's
what I
your
roll?
D20 +4
Okay.
because that's your hawks. But you do have advantage.
Okay. So first one's 11. That one is 10.
10?
Or no, sorry, 13.
13. There is a lot of shrubbery, and with being the time of day that it is, a lot of the fauna is probably gone to sleep, or is avoiding the midday sun. So Kevin is not able to really see too many fauna. Able to see some small birds that are perching on the lower branches of the canopy. Squirrels running darting between. But
I I want him to catch a squirrel.
Make an attack roll.
Come on, baby. 12.
12. Plus. We'll say plus 5.
Plus 5 to 17.
17? Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to make a acrobatics saving throw for. That's cocked. No. As Kevin is, as you watch as Kevin is kind of circling around looking for, and then, are you using your falcon sprue to like look through Kevin right now? Okay, so as you are observing through Kevin's eyesight, you do see the squirrel kind of catching your eye and tracking it, jumping from branch to branch. You lock eyes, snatch it as it jumps out of midair from one branch to the next, and as the squirrel is in midair,
Ooh.
Kevin grabs it.
I clap. I'm just like.
As Kevin comes down, hands you a squirrel's not quite dead yet.
Oh.
Has a lot of puncture wounds, and is bleeding now in your hands. It's horrible.
I'd be like, Kevin, come on, I could at least kill him. I'll just smash his neck against shit, dude.
I'm not gonna make you roll for that. But you now have a dead squirrel. I mean, I forgot all that.
Thanks, Kevin.
But anyway. And Enigma,
Alright.
what are you doing for this time?
I'm just gonna look around for anything berries or small animals.
Make a nature check.
Does he eat?
No.
No.
20?
Doing it for the sake of party.
The guy who doesn't eat rolled the highest to find food.
Are you going until 12 as well? Just trying to find as much as you can, or are you wanting to? Because
Yeah.
okay. As everyone returns back from their scavenging party, with your found goods, your dead squirrels and your berries, you hear this small clink clink as through the edge of the woods you see Enigma coming back.
Like, damn, Enigma.
With wild turnips, carrots pulled up, a full smorgasbord of vegetables, of wild veggies and mushrooms.
Are you vegetarian?
He doesn't eat the food. But you have 12 pounds of assorted vegetables.
Carrying a whole bear.
My,
Like a whole cow.
And one
Just
fucking
a whole
hand, he's
cow.
just like, cow.
my suspicions might have changed.
Can I make? How long does it take for me to make my falcon brews?
It should say.
I just know it lasts 10 minutes.
Give me 1 second.
I think a bear named Kevin.
I gotta pick a better name.
Yeah, dude, I completely forgot to think of a name. I was like, it's been so long.
Falcon Brew.
I was like, Kevin?
The brewing. Okay, so the brewing process of the substance is equal to the intelligence modifier per hour, provided the proper components are available. So I don't think we've really talked about proper components, but you probably do not have them. But what's your intelligence modifier?
My intelligence, my guys plus 2.
Plus 2, so you can make 2 per hour.
That's not bad at all. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But provided the proper equipment, and we'll talk about that
Okay.
later.
Guess I'll-
But you probably do not.
I have none right now.
Because it's kind of a unique thing. But yeah, and now we'll jump over to Dwayne and Cytheris. As the pair of you walk into town, where y'all headed?
Tivian.
The Tivians? Okay.
Yes.
We're going to go to the big man.
So as you walk into the center of town, you're not sure which it is.
Well,
but
I would look for personally the richest and gaudiest house in the area.
you do see one building that seems to be a bit larger than the others, and it's right next to another smaller building that the smell emitting from this smaller building is decadent. It's rich food, smelling of cooked meats, just a wonderful bouquet of aromas. But the nice building is 2 stories tall, and it seems to be most of the buildings are smaller wooden constructions. This one seems to be made of some stonework as well as wooden and hatch material, but it does seem to be a bit nicer than the rest of the town.
So fancy.
A little bit.
I say we look in that one.
Well, remember to knock. Rich people don't like being rude. And if it looks like it's going south, I'm cutting in and not letting you speak anymore. But till
See about
then,
that one, buddy.
till then,
I'm gonna
you're
get my
free to
info.
go.
I knock on the door.
A few moments pass before you see. Hello?
Howdy, buddy.
You see what appears to be a sort of a human man, a little bit younger, maybe about his mid-20s or so. Seems to be wearing a white frock, almost like a servant's uniform. Short trimmed hair that's kind of kept off to the side. Very dark eyes and dark hair. A small wispy mustache. Just the very shadow of a mustache on his upper lip. Hello? Can I help you and your friend?
Yes, of course, buddy. So I'm trying to talk to this Tivian.
Yes.
Let me in, please. Just, converse.
What is your business with him?
I need to ask him a couple questions.
I'm sorry, we do not accept solicitors here. I'm sorry, you'll have to go.
Oh, buddy, trust me. He's going to want to hear what I have to say.
Can I tell him who this is?
Yes, of course. This is Dwayne Bumblesnatch.
Yes,
Obviously.
the clan Rumblesnatch. Haven't you heard of them?
No. Would Monsieur Delora have heard of them?
Clearly.
Give me 1 second. Clunk. You hear the footsteps move away from the. You kind of hear. Actually, make a perception check real quick.
16.
You hear kind of through the door just a little bit of murmuring going on. Some kind of.
Do you remember when I told you that I would hop in and help you?
Of course.
You bombed that so fast I didn't have a chance to.
What do you mean, Phil? We're
Listen.
getting in there.
You're approaching. Imagine this is a small town. You essentially approached the king of the small town and said, "Hey, you have no idea who I am. Let me in and see the most important man here."
Of course.
It's not how that works.
Well, they ain't got no hospitality here.
No, they don't.
You don't
Because
have no
they are
rules.
very rude people.
Listen, Phil.
You have to be honest. You should have said, "Listen, I have questions about the Thalia Grave lady."
Well, what the fuck is a dwarf doing on my doorstep?
Excuse me, buddy. This is Dwayne.
Come, little man. Come, little man.
As the door swings open, you see a kind of a larger-looking man, broad-shouldered,
Big tits. Big tits.
The biggest knockers.
Honga dongas.
Some real bakangaloo's.
Some real
Big ring
Kagonga
honga
badonga dongs.
So there's a shadow.
Oh man.
It's just
Hooters.
a very formidable figure towering over you. Dressed obviously wealthier than the rest of the town, but it still seems to be. It's just a deep red tunic, very maroon, some gold colored lacing, but your best guess is it's not actual gold. But it seems to be standing over. What are you doing here?
Well, buddy, can I ask you a couple questions? about
Who
it?
are
This
you?
is- Listen, buddy. First off, don't interrupt me. You're talking to the Dwayne Bumblesnake.
And at this point, I would like to state that I just reach down, pick up the small little angry man, and
me
move
down,
him
buddy.
aside. And say,
I will not
sorry,
be
sir.
disrespected like this.
We have a quick question for you about a Thalia grave.
I went to Rice.
Thank
You can't do
God.
this.
Another decently civilized person here. Are you from Pollist?
Well, I was raised by a man from Pollist, but yes, essentially.
And what is your business?
Well, I seem to have amnesia. He does as well, but we woke up at the cathedral, up in the woods. I believe is owned by Miss Graves.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know who you're describing.
Thalia Grave,
Who's
buddy.
this?
We know you know.
I'm afraid I do not understand what you're talking about.
I'll just give a side eye to Dwayne and be like, just wait one damn minute. Now, sir, I'm aware that it might be hard to remember every person who lives in your city and comes through, buys property, but you know, what's his name? The man we just went and saw him yesterday.
Jossie?
Yes, good old Jose. He said that you. I'm just gonna say a different name every fucking now. He said that you may know something about Miss Graves.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I believe Mr. Montreux has been inhaling too many of those fumes out of his forge and is clearly delusional. I know not of Mrs. Grave, nor what she's doing in my town.
I'm gonna sidebar with Severus, whatever. Pays line, buddy. Clearly.
I'm more than aware.
Are you trying to say this without him hearing? Make a stealth check.
Stealth.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh,
you
don't
mean? What
fuck
you
it
mean?
up. Don't fuck the game up.
It's a 17.
Oh, okay. You're trying to win.
Well,
I mean, okay, it's just an okay. That could mean he still fucking heard it.
Proceed.
This son of a bitch line. Shoot.
Well, do you have anything you need help with, sir?
Freedom of
Anything.
Information Act. Putting it down right now.
I'm sorry, I'm
Information.
not familiar if the ministry has enacted any such law, but very well. You're asking for me to hire you to do something.
I'm simply stating that I feel as if we'll be fairly good at getting shit done, as the kids say. And anything you might need done in exchange for information on Miss Grave or someone who might have information on Miss Grave, we could probably take care of it in given reason.
Seeing as how I do not know who this is, nor what her business is in this town, I am not incentivized to give you money to investigate whatever this is, but
I'm not asking to be paid, sir. I'm just asking for information.
well, I have no information to give you.
Insight check.
Finally.
Check.
I've been wanting to say, but I'm just like, nah. Oh, that's terrible. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not that bad at all. That's,
Assist.
let's see here. Yeah, 13.
You have to call assist before the roll.
Yeah, you have to call assist before I roll.
What is it?
13.
A little bit hard to read. He seems to be the brusque intrusion on his home seems to have put him in a sour mood. He seems
See,
to.
you've done pissed him off, and now we can't do anything. Angry little dwarf man.
You're saying you're looking to help and aid or do a job or something?
Just looking for information, and if you don't have any information that will help us, then I don't know what we.
Where did you come from?
Literally, the cathedral up the road, sir. The one that is in your town. That's like right outside the edge.
Well, it's not under my jurisdiction anymore, but
Oh, why not?
it hasn't been jurisdiction for Tetelesi for quite some time.
And whose is it?
I do not know.
Well, I woke up there and barely remember my own damned name.
That is-
Same with this angry little dwarf man, and same
still
with
know I'm
4
white.
other people that we all woke up at the same time.
Well,
I just want information on the bitch who owns the place. Heard it was Thalia Grave. Just want to find her and ask her why the fuck I don't know who I am.
you said Mr. Montreux sent you over here.
Yes.
Perhaps he was not as forward with the information that you so seek. How do you know he wasn't hiding something?
I thought we inside checked him when we were that night.
Well, shoot, buddy.
It was a month ago. I don't remember.
Why would
I was like, what?
why would I know something about this Thorley woman? Clearly Mr. Montreux is the only person who's dealt with him in this town, and
Well, who knows someone? Who knows someone? Who knows who she is? Buddy.
Okay.
I would not be that person who would know.
The reason we
Perhaps
believe
you need another
would
discussion with
is,
Mr. Montreux.
is because you were the mayor of the town, I assume.
I'm not a mayor. I merely own the fields here, and I employ most of the workers, but
Who's the mayor then?
we don't have one.
Oh.
We're just a community here, trying to live,
Oh.
trying to survive, and we do what we must. So if
I
you
just
not
look at
wish
Dwayne and I
to-
say, we should leave.
Well, let's go to that dude then. Shoot. I'm going to start walking away. And then I'm
No. Around what
going
time
to
is
turn
it?
around and call him.
No, don't say anything.
It's a little around 9 o'clock.
9? Listen, how about this instead? Before we go and visit Mr. Montreux, we get with the guys and if, and this is a big if he's lying, I will know. I will make a signal. And we will beat the dog shit out of him in that room right then and there.
Sound good.
Okay. We'll just go. So me and you're just gonna go back to the fucking barn and wait.
Um,
Show him how to use my loaded dice while we're sitting there.
where are we going?
We're just going to the barn to wait.
Oh, the barn. I thought you said the bar, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what part are we going to? I'll really help us with the bar.
No, Satharis just determined that we are, in fact, in the backwater piece of shit town, and we are, in fact, getting the fuck out of here at the soonest possible convenience. They don't even have a true leader. They got a prick
Can't take me to
who's
either.
rich, and they got another prick who apparently does work for free.
As the both of you are making your way back to the barn, you do see actually approaching, sort of as you get to the edge of town, Damian and the dog, sort of walking to approach.
So, hi, kid. That's it. Child. Little boy.
He doesn't respond. His head is kind of staring directly into the ground as he's walking forward silently.
What's wrong?
The dog is kind of running around his feet.
Boy, what's wrong?
Who died?
He just kind of stops. He stops walking, but he doesn't seem to really turn. He seems to.
Should I follow you?
What? Oh, sorry. Did you say something?
Seemed a little out of it there.
You cracked out, buddy?
No. What does that mean?
It means that, are you
You are.
sad? Something weighing down your mind?
No.
Cracked.
No, I would not be sad.
Cracked.
I would never. I could never be sad. See, this is. No, I could.
Why is this the happiest place on earth or something? Because I'm going to be brutally honest with you here, kid. This place kind of sucks.
He bursts into tears.
Oh, shit.
Called it.
Watches,
buddy.
watches this small child falls to his knees and starts weeping.
I pick him up and we rush into the barn. I assume we're like in town still, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this kid just fell to the ground and started bawling, and for all I know, he's bawling because the people in this town are fucking psychotic. We're fucking taking this kid somewhere so he can tell us. We're taking the kid to the barn.
Okay.
Yes.
As you rush your way back to the barn, the kid is weeping pretty intensely in Cytheris' arms. But I'm not going to make an athletics check. He's a small child.
Yeah.
You're able to pretty quickly get him back to the barn. The dog running quickly after, nipping at your heels, and before you know it, you're back in the barn, and the kid has stopped crying, but is still sniffling in your arms.
So,
What's wrong, buddy?
His eye. It's very difficult for his eyes to meet your gaze. They're still pretty in the ground.
come on. What's wrong?
I move my head into his gaze. So I'm just like peeking under.
Your head, your face is still.
I'm trying to look him dead in the eyes.
Yeah. What is on your face?
I'm a tiger.
What is it? Tiger.
Roar.
Oh.
Oh,
Picture
exactly.
a giant kitty.
Well, I do like kittens.
Now imagine if it could very well hurt you a lot, but they're big cats meant for big woods, and they're meant to protect themselves. He thought it would make him look scarier, more brave.
That was a good attempt.
Thank you, buddy.
You couldn't even impress a 6-year-old. Or 11.
Sure you can prove.
Sorry.
That is okay. I'm small for my age.
So, you seemed to break down back there.
It is my friend. He walked into the woods.
I'm going to assume he never came back.
I've been watching for him. He has not come back.
For how long?
It has been 2 weeks. They tried to read.
Which way did he leave out?
He kind of points in the general direction of
The way they went.
just about what basically what that direction leads into is there's like a fence and then a covered gateway that leads into a forest path, and he's pointing towards that towards that gate.
When?
What were you doing out there, buddy? Why'd you go in the woods?
He would not respond. I tried calling out. I tried telling his father, but Mr. Dolores is not a good man. did
You
not
ever think
know.
about that, buddy?
They say he went to Lico to study with a tutor, but Mr. Dolor could afford it, but I do not believe that is the case. I saw him walk into the woods like he was asleep. Like he woke up in the middle of the night and just kept walking.
Does this happen often in this town?
Not that I know of.
Well, random question. What did our friend help your dad with this morning? Very early.
Enigma?
Yes. What did he help him with?
Oh, well, Enigma just moved some things around the house, answered a few questions. I did not hear the conversation, but they were catching up over old times.
Well, when our friends get back, we'll go out in the woods and we'll comb it through thoroughly and look for your friend
That would be very nice.
or any sign of him. But until they get back, because it's like what 9:30, 10.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, we got an hour and a half, 2 hours. Where's your dad at?
If he's not out in the fields, or he's probably in the house, I do not know. I do my chores, but I do not see him too much. After my brother left, he put himself into his work. Would you like me to take him to the house? I can show you. I can see if he is there.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess not. Yeah, fuck that guy.
No, actually, I think we're going to. I believe our friends already headed that way out into the woods to get some berries and maybe hunt for some food. So we will go ahead and just head out that way now, and maybe meet up with them and look for your friend. And when we get back, I need to talk to your father about a couple of things.
Okay, I can see where he is. I can go and look for him. Okay. Well, I'll meet you back here. Right.
Yeah. Sidebar question. Out of curiosity, have you ever had any weird dreams? Like weird dreams that felt almost real but not?
I dreamed I could fly.
Cool. Good shit. Have a good one. We'll see you in a bit.
Cool. Good shit.
Cool.
Sure, break the kid.
That's right.
Pass on you.
Let's go, little man.
Sounds good.
Alright, as y'all make your way out through there's a small stone path that turns into gravel that turns into dirt. As you get to the edge of the forest in front of the fence gate, as you go through it, there's a small path behind it, and before too long, before any further gets into that, let's catch up with you guys, because they're coming into the middle. Do you want to change anything? Or do y'all just want to meet up at 12 with them? Because
Yeah. As far as I know, it was like straight. So like by the time time's approaching, we're like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we would
Okay.
meet them on our way.
Yeah, so like,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I didn't plan to be that far into the forest.
Gotcha, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Then I guess we'll just go ahead and do this whenever y'all pick up.
Yes.
Go ahead and make perception checks, both of you.
It's fucking terrible. That's a perception.
Mhm.
Seven.
7. It's getting close to midday, and as you're walking about, there's a lot of twigs snapping and things around you, but you just assume that it's more or less just the local the fauna, local flora getting up and walking around.
Trees are just
Um,
like,
hell
and
yeah,
fuck
bro.
it.
An
Hell yeah,
entire
brother.
int comes out of nowhere and fucks you up. Sorry, tree int. 'Cause it's whatever. And then you cross there's a small stream that you cross. Before too long, you get to your companions in the woods.
So the rich, what was his name again? I forgot the prick.
Tivian.
Huh?
Tivian.
That's it. Mr. Tivian is an asshole.
Oh, most
Um,
definitely.
Oh,
It did not help that you walked
Shit.
up and demanded things. You can't just demand things from rich people. That's not how it works.
That dude was a bitch.
And he in fact was, but I hate to tell you that that bitch was about 7 times your size and could have punted you across the fucking building.
He could have tried.
He would have
I would have
succeeded.
just climbed up that bitch.
If he would have reached down and snatched you up, I would have left. I would have acted like I would have been like, oh, sorry, sir, I was just passing by.
Whoops. Wow. Rude. You wouldn't help a little buddy out?
Listen, man, it comes down to survivability. No offense.
The dwarves have been surrounded for years, I would assume.
At least 5.
At least.
Well, I'm 36, so we've at least been around that long, damn it.
Exactly.
Mama only made it to 38, so.
thanks for my home
You let
school.
Zareth die, do you doubt him?
So, yes.
Well, it was a dead end, and he said that the other man lied to us yesterday.
What man?
The original guy. I fucking hate all of the French names.
I don't know the fucking name.
Jesse. That's his
Jesse.
So we got a dead lead and a liar.
So should we go be the
So
bigger guy or like?
here's what it comes down to. This town does not have a mayor. They do not have a central form of government. There is not a bar. There's not a tavern. There's that blacksmith.
So it's like an
That
anarchy?
asshole who owns all the fields, and then the people who work here. This is an export town. Pretty much, we're not going to find anything here that's going to be
Useful?
tangible in what we're
So
looking
let's
for.
leave.
Well, we don't want to leave without a lead on where to go to leave to, though. That's the problem.
We need a
So
new
I'm
lead.
thinking this is going to require all of us as a team. We're going to go into Jesse's. Yes,
Kick his ass.
possibly. First, we're going to ask a couple questions. Get a gauge on him to see if he's lying. If he's lying, I will give a hand motion, and one of you will strike him without question. Just bam,
Can
right
I do
across the face. Yeah, just slug
I'll
the
do
shit
it.
out of him. Don't stab him.
I won't do that. No, I won't
Just
do that.
just slug him.
Right in the teeth.
I'll
And
get him in the nuts at the same time.
see, this is how you do it. I don't know. I mean, you're short, so I guess you just punch forward, and it's just right there.
I look for
Um,
a signal.
Just your little butt
Okay,
punchy
yeah.
bag, Dwayne. Your
Yes,
little,
I just-
little sack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, that much
So-
can be extra.
What it comes down to is
Finding where
he's
he is.
not going to tell us outright, regardless if he doesn't know anything, because he's probably in on it. Which is why I was surprised to see you, because you shouldn't have been there. But you weren't there. You shouldn't be. But you are.
But why were you? More about that later.
Why are any of us?
Oh, that's true.
Existential dread. Sit there, sits in the corner.
So let's go find Jesse.
To Jesse's house, boys. How much food do we have? Because fuck me, I'm hungry.
I have a squirrel.
Take some of that food.
I just want.
I have 12 pounds of vegetables.
He just pulled out all his vegetables. I'm
He
like,
says it's so monotone. I got 12.
that's not normal. Does anybody just have like a handful of berries that just want a snack while we walk?
Just take
Normal
another
carrots.
handful of carrots.
Whatever, carrots. Just eat.
Can I have some carrots
Okay,
to
take
make
some
some
carrots.
carrots?
Fucking carrot.
You
How
give me
much-
some
how much-
carrots.
how much-
I'm gonna
how
eat
much-
some carrots.
How much? Quarter
You get carrots.
pound.
Yeah.
I have a quarter pound. Berries.
So, how the carrots.
You got quarter pound berries.
As you make your way back into, oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna take a few just to kind of sample the berries.
Go ahead and make a nature check.
How many different kinds of berries do I have in my quarter pound berries?
Make an nature check real quick.
Right. So I'm sampling it real quick.
Oh, you eat one and instantly just start shitting your brains out.
Oof.
I'm good.
That's a 5.
It's a 5.
I need to switch it out.
It is. It resembles a blueberry. The texture is really interesting, actually. It's more like a. It's very chewy.
What's that fruit that's like custard on the inside?
It's a little bit like that.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. It tastes very sour, and then very sweet,
And then gone.
and then gone.
Ba-ba.
Does it like actually provide any nutrition or any type of?
You do feel like
Other
after
than
eating a little
taste,
bit,
anything.
you do feel like it doesn't satiate a lot of hunger, but it does stave off immediate. It's more so like a placebo. It makes you feel like you're not as hungry.
See how to put this in terms. About how much would be considered a meal, like quote unquote, this like sustainable, like a ration.
A couple handfuls of that.
Like so about a half pound. Half pound.
Yeah.
Go ahead and devour half pound.
Go ahead.
Alright, so quarter pound.
As you make your way back into town,
Carrots.
Corn pound with cheese.
doesn't take you too long before you get back to the gate and you see the barn just beyond. It's getting close to noon at this point.
Oh, tits, I needed to do something in the woods. Oh,
Guess we'll head for
well. I'm heading straight to Jesse's house, and
Yeah.
I'm going to
Let's go.
question the
Good
dog
boy.
shit out of this man.
I'll get ready to punch him if it comes to that.
As y'all make your way past the barn, further into town, you get to. It takes you about 30 minutes to get there, just like, or probably closer to 20, just to get to Jossie's. It's Jossie Montrose.
I have done it.
You see the same woman sitting out front, working the forge. She's like, "Oh, go on ahead." Same one from before, and she.
Before we go in, I'm going to quick group vote. Rude or nice?
Nice.
Rude.
Rude.
Nice. No, you said nice. Rude. Rude.
Nice.
Nice. Too nice. Too rude.
I don't care, just intimidate.
Rude.
Alright.
Okay.
So,
the
one.
I'm gonna go.
Yes, you can go ahead and go inside.
I'm gonna go in last.
I'm going behind Seth.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
he's
just.
taking lead.
I'm walking in very intent, very punctual. Just doosh 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 doosh. I'm walking.
Great posture.
Yeah. I've got places to be and shit to do.
As you enter his forge, into the shop, you see the same racks. It seems a pretty bare shop, nothing too impressive. And you see behind the counter, Jossie Montreux is kind of polishing a small, almost buckler kind of thing. It's a little bit smaller than a normal size buckler. It seems to be more ornamental than anything, but he seems to be polishing it behind his counter as he kind of looks up. Hello, I did not expect you back so soon. You all look like you have sour faces. Is everything okay? What is... Can I help you?
Seth?
Well, we went and talked to Mr.
While you got the tension, he was walking up front.
Yeah.
Kind of go stealth. Kind of like off, look around, just kind of stay away from them.
You can make a... Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
In other words, kind of like say I'm kind of a separate party.
Sure.
That's what I needed. 23.
23? Okay. So, there are more of you now.
Well, we went and we talked to Tivia, whatever.
Javinia?
Yes.
Yes.
And he does not know Talia Grave.
I would have thought he would have. If anyone else in this town, I would have thought he would have.
So
Quit bullshitting, boy.
here's the thing. I feel like I'm very much getting a runaround, I guess, is the best way to put it. I have no idea where or why I am at this exact moment in time. And without knowing where to even begin to look for Thalia Grave, I don't know what to do. And now that we have begun talking, I just had a brief moment of memory where I remember a conversation from a month ago. Now I'm going to look at the group like we're not going to be assholes anymore, because I remember the conversation we had before and how it went, and we're totally wrong in all of this that we're thinking right
I was positive that anyone else in this town who might know Dahlia would have been Tivian. What did he say? What did he tell you?
now. That the ownership of the cathedral used to be in his jurisdiction many years ago, but it is currently in someone else's. But he is unsure of who.
Well, I do not know if that would aid us. Perhaps. This is quite a predicament. But Tivian told you that he did not know Dahlia Grave.
And to the best of my knowledge, he was telling the truth. Pretty good at sensing these sort of things.
I have known Tivian for quite a while. He has a way with words.
He also is a bit of a prick. I don't really like him, so if you want me to burn his house down, I'll do that.
Frick, what
as
are you
well.
talking about? He's a very sweet man. He's
No,
just...
he was not a very sweet man to our little short friend here who looks like a stupid
big
retarded
old
tiger.
Douchebag. Grade A. Piece of garbage.
I'm sure he is simply under a lot of stress. I mean, he's probably missing his son. His son is gone tutoring off in some fog city. I'm not sure where, but
His son is the one that
He's racist.
that walked off into the woods. Probably got murdered.
what are you talking about?
You know, the little boy who lives where we're staying. Damian.
Daniel,
Yes, him.
Liven's son.
Sure. It was his friend, and he said that while everyone says that he's off tutoring in some other weird city name, he really watched him walk off into the woods in the middle of the night like he was sleepwalking.
Hold up!
It doesn't matter. Tell us what we want to know.
I have told you everything that I do know. I wish I could tell you more, but I do not.
Inside check.
I get inside check.
I know, dude. I want to.
I'm like, no, see, I remember this. I remember we made an
I
insight
just
check
wanna
on this
punch
last
him.
time, and I rolled a 20-something on this dude for an insight check. He's telling the truth. The other guy's lying 110%.
He seems to be pretty convincing right now.
I remember rolling an insight check on this guy a month ago and getting like a
It's pretty
23.
straightforward, yeah.
I remember it now. That's why I said, oh, this conversation was
So-
totally in the wrong.
You are telling me that Tivian's son is not tutoring or studying in Liko. He's not. He's actually missing?
I believe so, yes.
Well, this is becoming more and more tangled. Seems like someone is spinning a web of lies, and someone is trying to play with the people of the Telassi. Tivian says one thing, you are told another. You are led on some wild goose chase in the woods for some kid. What are the facts?
They found a tent in the woods full of blood.
Where was this tent?
And as far as I know, I'm still catching hers.
That way.
Very well. I do not remember you. Who are you? You were not here yesterday.
I was not. No, I was doing my own thing.
Okay.
Something like that.
Very well. Perhaps there is more to this. Maybe to find Dahlia, we need to find whatever is controlling the Delasi. Maybe she is controlling the Delasi. I do not know.
I was almost some goddamn answer, man.
It seems like you are being played by many different angles. And for that, I am sorry. I will do what I can to help. I feel like I have given you all the information that I know, but
Question, and this is very out there and probably not pertaining to anything.
of course.
But how many kids would you say leave the town, like kids? When I say kids, I mean Demi-Al's
Small
age.
children.
Yes. How many would you say leave the town to go tutor or go learn somewhere, live with another family member, or how often does this happen? Is this an often thing?
None.
None?
The only person who would be able to purchase the skills of a tutor would probably Tivian Delar. It is the only person in town who has enough money to even consider it. It costs several thousand gold.
Would he not like his kid for any reason?
Like I said, Tivian is a very sweet man. He gets involved in a lot of things, but that is because he cares about the town and he does what he can. We do what we can to survive. Are you listening back to the last episode?
No, I was just someone else.
Alright.
Okay. We'll be back before the end of the day to discuss what we should do. Because I would like to discuss it with you before we do anything.
Of course.
Take me to the body. I've been waiting to say that all fucking episode. Take me to the body.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I do suggest that we meet again before the evening is concluded. There is a mystery afoot. Like I said, you are being pulled in several different directions from unknown sources. I am just a simple man. I wish to conduct my business in peace, but apparently the Telesi has dark secrets afoot.
Do you hear the voices too?
I don't. What the fuck? No.
Oh, you're not a soul warden. I read in
No. That was not at all what I was talking.
I apologize.
I will forget that was said. But yes, let us return here and discuss what we have learned. Is there anything else I can do with your time here, or?
No, that's everything I had. Thank you. Sorry for being an asshole.
It's okay.
I'm under a lot of stress. I need a drink.
That's what I've been saying.
There is Monsieur Bertrand's across the way. You could probably go for the drinks there.
Never mind, I don't have money.
I walk out of the shop. I'm like, never mind. It's a 2-quarter shop here.
Tell him I sent you. Monsieur Bertrand could probably give you a drink on the house. Well, not on the, maybe not on the house, but tell him that you are delivering a shipment for me, and I could probably take the bill. You are working hard to uncover secrets of the Telasi, and I want to see this town restored to its peace.
Yes, sir.
You've earned a drink so far.
Is there a secret cult in this town?
Not that I know of. That's a big.
I mean, I don't think he would know if there was a secret cult
Are there
in
like
town.
We might
weekly
discover.
neighborhood meetings at nighttime, where
If he's not in the secret cult, he wouldn't be in.
Dwayne, think of more logical
Well,
questions.
I need you to
see
think.
people walking in.
This is a
gathering
dwarf brain
under
working
torches
right here.
and stuff.
If he was in a secret cult, we think he would tell us about the secret cult. Number one of Fight Club.
You want to talk about that?
Well,
Yes.
feel free to stop by Monsieur Bertrand's. And like I said, we'll meet again tonight. Is it okay?
Sure.
Sounds good.
9 o'clock. That is when I close the store.
See you at 9.
Farewell.
Who's
No.
going to get drinks? Drinks?
Drinks?
Okay.
Dwayne, no.
You don't drink.
Silver
I'm going to
October.
do weird magic stuff. Do you want to come or not?
I say partake.
Come on, Ivan.
I woke up. Yes, I woke up.
To do the magic stuff or to get a drink?
To drink.
Okay, I'm not drinking. I'm going to do magic stuff.
You do your magic.
Okay.
I'm
Are you
gonna-
going to drink or do magic stuff?
I'm gonna just hang out, just gonna chill.
Are you chilling with us and walking into the woods, or are you chilling with them and drinking beer?
I'll go to the woods. Sounds
Okay.
fun.
Woods, woods, woods. Woods, beer, beer. Get me a beer. You get me a beer too. So I'll have 2 beers waiting for me.
So we'll go ahead and with the beer people. We'll go ahead and start with that.
Beer people.
What do you mean?
So as you exit Jesse's store, you see across the kind of square a large 2-story house, and then directly beside it a smaller building that has dark smoke, dark thick smoke billowing out from the chimney, and kind of wafting in your general direction is a very alluring aroma of meats and fruits and ale, kind of wafting in your direction.
I'm gonna walk inside. Just what was the guy's name again? Not Jesse, the one he said works there.
Monsieur
Monsieur
Bertrand.
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 B-
I'll call him
B-E-R,
B.
yeah.
I'll call him B. Like Mr. B. I'm gonna shout his name out. Monsieur B.
As the both of you walk into this smaller building, you see that it is fairly busy now that it is a little bit after noon. Most of the tables are fairly packed, and you see the counter has a lot of patrons sitting at stools, hunched over their meals. They all appear to be in laborers' uniforms, very loose-fitting, sweat-stained, looking like they've worked most of the day. As you enter, a few actually shuffle past you and kind of
Move, bitch.
move in. But behind you see a very large, rotund man with a apron tied around, long, greasy, gray hair tied back in a long ponytail, half moon glasses that kind of droop a little bit on his face, and then a thin, wispy beard that just kind of goes.
Just describe me in 30 years. Thanks.
He says, welcome, new patrons. My name is Ronaldo Bertrand, and you have come to Ronaldo Bertrand's meadery. You can call it Arby's, though.
What's your name again? I didn't
Oh
catch
my
the first 4
fucking God!
All
That
night!
was great!
All night. I wanted to say that.
Applaud.
Everyone calls it Arby's. We have
some
some meats.
Yeah, what kind of meat you have?
All of the meats.
Can I have some meats?
ham and cheese, some roast beef and cheese.
We have pulled pork and ham and spicy meat, and we can do.
Spicy. Keep it cool. I'll take a drink. Jossie sent me over here.
Jesse, he's a good man. He's trying to run that forge. Poor guy is going through quite a lot, but on his tab, It is unpaid, but oh well, here at Arby's it is okay.
Thank you, thank you.
What would you
I'll
like?
take the strongest you have.
That is okay. Very well.
And then 2 beers on the side. Those are for my friends, I promise.
And you, sir, what would you like?
I would like a drink as well. What do you have on the menu?
Well, I've got beer. We've got a dark
We
one,
have
I've got a light
beers.
one, I've got a semi-light one.
Let me get the.
Tell you
semi-
what.
Even their beer.
Have you ever tried roast beef beer?
I can't say I have no.
Would you like to try roast beef beer?
Only at Arby's.
Do you recommend it?
Not particularly.
No.
We've got
It is gross as fuck.
Just normal beer, thank you.
Come on, Emma, don't be a pussy. Just have roast beef
Some
beer.
fucking idiot put a lot of roast beef in the barrel, thinking it is where we kept the meats. There was a lot of beer in there. So now we have beer with roast beef in it.
Is it chunky beer? Or like...
It is chunky now,
Do you?
but we called it roast beer.
No roast beer.
I thought it was clever. Anyway, as he claps his hands, 2 people from the back bring out a very tall horn of some liquid that is inside that kind of sloshes about, and he sets it in front of you, and then you see 2 smaller, darker ales that are put in front of you, and then a third put in front of you.
How big is this? How many like ounces is this?
This is about right.
Ooh, okay.
About that big around. It's probably about 72 ounces.
I'm gonna
How much like the whole fucking thing? In one go.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna clink my
So
money
he said.
against Baki, and I'm also gonna chug.
Oh shit, it's +0, damn it. Okay.
Bottoms up.
16!
16?
I almost had a 20, but it fucking rolled one more time. I was like, damn.
Okay.
This is 16.
You did take the strongest though. So.
As you are going back to get the last drop, you fall out of your chair and you watch as he just kind of lays there for a little bit on the ground. A minute passes and Baki is still just kind of laying down, not passed out or anything.
Just kinda
You
like,
feel incredibly warm, as though
Like I just came or something?
as
Like,
though it is this deep euphoria from within. It's almost as if you were. Your body feels as though it is being slowly compressed into the ground, but in a comfortable way. Your muscles relax. You really don't want to get up.
you know what, guys? I know what, hey, Mom? Just gonna lay right here for a little bit. You know what? Take a little nap.
Is this acceptable?
Well, here at Arby's, anything can happen. You can have roast beer. You can be like that. That is do you want me to help you up onto your chair?
Yeah, you know what? Could you just give me nachos? Kinda hungry.
What? Would you like to take care of your friend?
Come on, we'll put you back in your chair.
I have
Okay.
There's a bench out back if you would like to lay down.
Hey, Mom, can you take me to the bench? And I'm gonna just take a nap.
I'm gonna just totally like lift him up and like take him to the bench.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Oh, please. Wait, can I help? Can I help? Wait.
No, you can't.
Oh, I
you
can't.
are immobile.
Oh, wait, just kidding. Sorry, I was.
You physically can't.
Wait. I forgot.
What?
11.
As you kind of try and lift him up, it's just dead weight.
Yeah.
So and you watch as Ronaldo just kind of watches. Let me help you. He walks around and just kind of grabbing Baki by the scruff of the neck, just
I'm
kind
just
of
like,
walks him out
Don't put your dirty fingers on me, man.
and sets you out back in the bench.
And then I'm gonna take a nap, and that's where I'm gonna end my turn.
Cool.
I had to call deuces.
Yeah.
But
Sweet.
obvious, I like that, dude. That's, I love that so much.
I guess I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't like choke to death.
After about 30 minutes, you do see him kind of like
Jess.
Yeah.
You
kind
work
of
tomorrow?
spits out a little bit, but it
I
doesn't
just
really
leave
throw
my
up
green
anything.
for now.
Yeah.
I just leave my green here.
Yeah.
You might as well.
Meanwhile, taking a break from Arby's, we go to the party who is going back into the woods. As you leave town and you're heading further south, you pass the barn. It's about 1 o'clock now, a little after 1 maybe. And you see Liven walking back from the fields, and as you'll get closer, he notices you, and you see him kind of have a bit of a puzzled face. Kind of looks at you, then it's back into the woods. Did not you just come from? What is happening?
Oh no. What do you mean?
And you
Who
see him
did
kind of
you-
get worked up a little bit.
When? How long ago?
Just 20 minutes ago, you. Where is my son? What did you do with my son?
Well, sir, I can safely say he's been with us for the last hour and a half at least.
Who is that? Who is that with my son?
Which way did they go?
You see him turn on the dime and sprint towards the gate.
Well, I guess we're booking it, boys.
Oh shoot! I'm not that fast.
I just pick up the little dwarf man.
I will make you make an athletics check for this one. Running with the.
I'll do it because I'm.
Yeah, he can pick up the little dwarf.
Make an athletics
I'll
check.
try it. Pick up. Ooh. You said what? Athletics?
Athletics.
23.
23. Easily enough.
Hit,
As you begin sprinting and chasing after Liven, who is quite delirious at this point, you have everyone else make athletics checks real quick. Yeah, okay.
18? No. Athletics? That's still 18. Let's do it.
15.
14.
Yeah.
Did I make another one or just?
Do it?
Did I make another one for the
No.
primary?
That'll be included. Chasing after Liven, who is in somewhat of a desperate sense to get to find his son Damiel, outpaces all of you by quite a bit, fueled by this adrenaline come from within.
Just rolling that 20, didn't you?
And he is sprinting full out. He's a solid 30 yards ahead of you throughout the woods, leaping over this wild fit of agility that seems to have sprung within him.
I also have a visual side of him.
Everyone make a perception check as well.
Well, that's good. That's a 13.
17.
13.
13. You said 17, what'd you get?
13.
13. So you're really the only one to keep an eye on him. You're like kind of periscoping
Yeah,
Dwayne.
I'm kind of having him like up here.
Yeah.
So I'm running, so he got the full speed of me and he gets the perception.
So yeah, you are able to keep an eye on him, but you actually notice that the path that you're following seems familiar.
Is it along the stream going up towards?
You haven't reached the stream yet, but it's heading towards that path. You see him kind of stop and look around, and you hear him shouting in the distance, "Damiel! Damiel!" And then he begins darting in different paths.
Is he the gloss or is he in that area? At the moment, now I recall this site, I try to whistle out the birds I once a few days ago.
Make an animal handling check.
I'll tell him where.
20.
20. You do hear a response, and these birds are loud. These birds are.
Is it similar to the ones before? Or
They are.
They sound like startled.
They sound startled. They sound terrified.
I use the
and worried.
supernatural gifts, simple animal thoughts.
What would you like to convey? Or are you listening?
I'm listening.
Okay. Then you
So
hear the same thing.
I speak to him. Little boy, have you seen him? When you say that, he lives with another person, correct?
The
Figure.
the
As
same.
far as the father lives with one figure.
As you're thinking these thoughts, you see this great flock shift, but from the canopy that goes straight from the tree that they're on, kind of up towards that same path. And if you would like to follow it, it's going to lead up the stream as well.
I'm like, all I hear is this way, but a million fucking times.
Yeah.
Should we call it to the father?
Yeah. Sir, follow them birds.
Yeah. So he's further path.
Oh, he's already
past.
kept going.
Yeah. He's already kept going.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're following the birds then.
Yeah, follow the
We're
birds.
just
We don't
hauling ass after the birds.
Okay.
Are we stamina checking again, or?
No, at this point, because you're not having to catch up with him, I'll say y'all can move at whatever pace you'd like.
Pace.
Moving at the pace of fast as fuck boy.
Yeah. I'm guessing the birds ain't flying slow, so I'm trying to keep up.
The birds are moving pretty fast. You get the sense
that's
the birds.
I'm trying to see what
Yeah.
far as the direction they going.
Yeah.
So I was getting familiar with it. I did, if I believe, I think I marked the trail where the stream was at.
I believe you did as well. Yeah.
'Cause on the way back.
Following the birds and getting this sense of dread from them, particularly from you two. The feeling kind of spreads into you as well that something's wrong. And you get to the familiar campsite. Never make a perception check.
Before we get to the campsite, I do want to talk to the trees.
That's a happy moment.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
20.
20.
I just asked a simple question: is there danger?
You get a resounding yes.
Oh, great.
Like a hard yes.
Utter terror and dread coming from the birds. So who rolled above 15? Okay.
What was it? Roll?
That's perception.
Perception. 13.
So the campsite was, if you remember, it kind of leads up, and there's this escarpment that is directly behind the campsite. It's kind of up against a sharp rock face that leads directly up. About halfway up, you see the two of you see a strange figure clad in what it seems to be armor. Yet you recognize it to be Warforged. About halfway up the cliff face is a Warforged figure that seems to be attempting to climb, with a small figure on its back. I'm going to go ahead and draw this out for you.
Cool. I'm going to go do the thing.
We're going to take a 5-minute break. And I do mean 5-minute break.
My foot's on the stool.
I'm going to ask you a question about the number that I put in earlier.
You want to text it to me, or you want to text it to me? Yeah.
Because otherwise I got nothing. Because the other spell that I have right now is Encode Thoughts, which is currently... or if you want to pull something out there and let me know. That way I can just write it down. That way I have something I can do, because let me tell you, this sickle's going to get me killed. Just saying.
than that one spell that I remembered there, the only other thing I remembered was most of my charlatan background, which is why I was talking to nobles the way that I am, is because
Yeah.
I know how to bullshit a fucking rich person.
Yeah.
That was half my goddamn life. Y'all fucking destroyed these.
Hell yes. Alright, we're on break with Brendan. Cool. Alright, welcome to Break with Brandon, where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and all this other fun stuff.
Oh, jeez, Rick, and
Oh,
all this
jeez.
other stuff. Did you text it to me?
We'll do that.
Fireball?
Yeah.
It's a 1D.
What do you think?
And then the next ones, we need to chart out the rolling for it. That way, the next time I do a memory, we can just roll on a scale.
I could probably knock that out for you this week.
Yeah, I'm like, because I sent them to you. We just have to scroll to the chat to find them. Cool.
That'll do. Cool. What's up, guys? All right. Cool. How did they roll?
Oh wow. Cute. Is this a river?
Yeah, it's a river.
Sky bridge.
Oh shit.
Ooh. So pretty spooky vibes going
Yeah.
Most definitely.
No, it's some pretty spooky vibes, but I'm all about the spooky vibes.
Oh yes.
We all about the spooky vibes up in here.
It is October.
It's I'm trying to give y'all some spooks. It's Spooktober.
It is
I
October.
had to do it to them.
Of course. Shoot.
We've been going. Let's see how long we've been streaming for. We've been live for over a little bit over 2.5 hours.
Nice.
It's a pretty respectable time.
It is. Can you see the map and everything?
Yes. Actually, if you want to move it a little bit to its left. A little bit more. Oh, wait, never mind. Don't touch it. It was just delayed reaction. Right there. Seems about fine. Sweet. Well, you know, I'm so excited you got to go to Arby's. I've been planning that for a while.
Yes, that was beautiful. Ooh. If only I was there. Oh man. Love me some Arby's. Also, this cheese is solid. It's beautiful.
You ever just get some solid cheese?
Just solid.
Yeah. You know why it's solid?
It's cheese.
Because that's literally 2 pounds of fucking cheddar just melted.
Hell yes.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I stood right there and shredded fucking 2 pounds of cheese today.
It was worth it.
How's the chat going? We got any chatters?
We have one viewer.
Ooh.
And
Do
I
we have
think-
any chatters when we're gone now?
Oh, no. No.
Nice.
My brother for that.
But that's fine, because we're back after a 1-month hiatus.
Yeah, and nobody has to work in the morning. You don't work in the morning, right? Yeah, so we can you can stretch this out as long as you want.
Well, I mean, I was probably going to leave midnight, so.
What if we're in the middle of some real cool shit?
Well, we'll see too how long that cool shit lasts. Probably after the cool shit. As long as there's 4 people, we can play.
All right. Are we all?
I want you to know that her cheeks are pretty. Down to the nitty gritty.
Down to the nitty gritty.
I got 6 rows. Rows on rows on rows. TP for everyone.
I hate it and love it at the same time. Welcome back after our break. I mean, even though we were just kind of hanging out. Got 2 viewers. Hey, other viewer.
Hey, new person.
How you doing?
Welcome to.
Is that one of us? No. Well, then you're a unique viewer, and we love you. And we're about to get into some cool shit. So, I went ahead and drew out the area for you.
Which way do we
Put
coming
yourself
from
on
here,
there.
boy? Coming from up the street.
Coming in from up the stream.
From over here.
I'll take the green one.
It's easy to tell which
Actually,
one
I think
Cytheris
the
Braywin
blue
is.
one.
He's the one that looks the most refined and like a person.
And then I need 2.
Huh?
I need 2 little figurines.
Of course, go for it.
Here's a needy dumb man.
I demand 2 figurines. Okay. So Enigma and Cytheris notice about halfway up this cliff face, which is it's about 50 feet tall, so about 25 feet along this cliff face is this warforged figure with a smaller humanoid figure clinging to its back, and it appears to be trying to climb upward. As you approach, what are you doing?
Excuse me, sir.
You calling up to it?
Yeah.
Turns and
What does it look like?
you see Enigma's face.
What?
I'm
What in
just
San
gonna
Diego?
start
Looking down.
watching close.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah. It
Are
does-
you- which one are you? You're the brown. You're the
Yeah.
big fat boy.
the figure that looks like it, the figure that looks like Enigma stops and turns halfway up the cliff face, doesn't respond, looks at you, turns back.
How high up the cliff face would you say?
It's about 30 feet,
It's a 60-foot cliff face.
50 foot.
50 foot.
You go about 20 feet before it gets to the top.
Let's see here. Oh god, I can only think of stupid plans. All of them are bad.
What y'all doing is climbing. It's climbing.
I'm gonna
Furbolg, yeet the dwarf to the top.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I'm
yeet
gonna-
me. Please do.
full movement.
Please.
Oh,
God. Roll me up there, buddy.
Yes!
So I'm gonna do this beautifully.
It's almost like the only thing I can think of is stupid ideas.
Get ready to fly.
This
Yeah.
I'm fucking ready.
Wait,
I pull out my
wait,
wire gun.
wait, yes!
So
Thank you!
I pull out my fucking wire gun.
That's
So-
why I
so-
picked him to yeet. I was like, God, he has a thing.
So-
man.
all right, so I'll get a plan. I'm gonna hand you my honey trap.
Of course.
Listen, he's climbing
Yeah,
as
so-
we speak.
Yeah, so
You could just try to shoot him.
so like I
and
said,
pull him
full movement. Where am I at?
You got it, bro.
Choose.
So full movement.
Before you throw, well, that'll be your surprise round.
Yeah.
Everyone roll initiative.
Cool. Cool. No doubt. Fuck.
Oh yeah, so we're together. So okay. Oh yeah, so you. Who's it? Who's you?
Am I there or am I still at Arby's?
You're Arby's. Yeah.
Oh man.
You are at Arby's.
Yeah.
You are at Arby's.
With a
You shouldn't have went and got a drink,
With
bro.
a drunk as fuck.
Do you expect Baki to take care of
Baki.
himself?
If you would have left Baki alone there, you would have probably bar fought somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you for stopping that.
You would have a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So
Oh. Roll initiative.
so you already walked up, so.
So 20 to 25.
Oh god. It's not that, so don't worry, you can keep going.
Okay, 15 to 20.
15.
All right, and 10 to 15. 10. And 5 to 10.
5.
8. Yeah. At the top of the round, we have the surprise round. So go ahead and you're yeeting.
So one hand, left hand right here on his collar, On the waist, I'm just gonna spin around, get a couple of spins, and I go, Cowabunga! Just launch this motherfucker away.
With a cowabunga,
Make
makes it even better.
Make an athletics check.
Alright.
Here, use this one. Use this
Oh
one.
yeah, that's all. Just save this one.
Do something good.
Just to let you know, it just rolls low. I hate you.
I'm sorry.
12. Okay. And so at the same time, what are you doing? Because you are being flung.
Midair, like a badass.
Just to let you know, I use a
I'm gonna
dagger
use-
theorem, and I launched that 45 degrees for the most height and most distance.
Okay.
Just to let you know mathematicals.
I don't think you'd be
I'm
that
gonna
high,
use
brother.
my-
No, you didn't get that high. It's more strict, like 45,
better
straight
like
45,
here.
yeah.
You're just going
So-
to the top.
I'm gonna use my multi-shot.
Is that, did you prep that? The default for the wire gun
Pull it
is
out.
the dart wire.
Well, I'm just gonna use my dart wire. Whatever, dart wire. And then I'm going to shoot it into the wall right next to it,
Okay.
Regular.
as to not
Good.
hit the small child.
Good.
And then
Make
I'm
a
going
range.
to land on him. And I'm going to take the wire and wrap him up. Of course.
Yes.
All using my
This is deep.
very cool acrobatics. I'm doing flips right now.
Make it.
We're gonna make like 3 rolls during this attack. This is gonna be beautiful.
Make a ranged attack.
Is that plus anything?
It is plus your dexterity
And proficiency.
and proficiency. Yes.
Just
9.
9.
Okay.
What did you roll?
7.
You only have 1 in dexterity?
5-0.
Plus 2.
Okay. So
Proficiency?
odds you hit lower, evens you hit higher. So 17, you hit lower than your target by about 5 feet. So your dart wire goes in about 5.
He did
about-
his math wrong.
What?
11. But I mean,
Yeah. You missed by about
Still missed,
well,
but
well,
yeah.
we'll say you missed by about a couple feet lower than your target, and you are attempting to do what exactly?
Wrap the boy up.
So the boy is
Not the
currently
boy, the robot boy.
so the figure is maybe about 5 feet above you on this cliff face, and you are currently hanging by a wire that you kind of hear is not holding your weight super well.
Well, then I'm just going to use my sick ass acrobatics to run along the wall and then go up and around and onto the robot boy, obviously.
When we get to your turn, we will do that. At the top of the round, after the surprise round, at the top of the round, the figure is going to use its movement to, but it does get it's half movement and it's climbing, so it's only going to get to move about 5 feet up. So it's going to get up to about 35 feet up the wall, and that's going to be the end of its turn. And that brings us to Cytheris. What are you doing?
There's literally. Okay.
You watch as this dwarf is flung through the air.
Yeah, no, watching him do that was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in the
Yes.
entirety of my life.
I literally try to shock put this guy.
I'm going
That's what it
to
looked
fuck, I've got nothing useful. I'm just going to go up
Yes, it's all we do is advance.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and I used all my action. I'm at the bottom of the fucking thing.
Staring directly up.
Yep.
At the 2 figures now, or 3
35
figures.
feet. And then I hover 5 feet off the ground.
As a bonus action, you can do that. you watch as, similarly to how Cytheris had done so in the cathedral, it begins hovering off the ground. That's going to be the end of your turn. Rick, that brings us to your turn.
Can I have a conversation with the players or go straight to action? Because I'm standing by nails, technically.
By who?
By nails.
No.
Yeah,
Enigma.
Enigma, sorry. Thinking about it.
Ooh. I mean, you have about 6 seconds.
Oh, never mind. Anyway, I'm just going to advance straight to dash.
Okay. So go ahead and move yourself up. And it's going to bring us to the end of your turn. Enigma, it is your turn.
I want to do the same thing. I want to climb after it.
Okay. So are you just going up to the base of the cliff?
Yeah.
Okay. And that brings us to Dwayne's turn. So you are hanging, and you kind of feel the wire.
Well, then I'm climbing straight up that bitch. And then climb on the wall. Fuck it. The robot can climb the wall. I can climb.
You're watching as the fingers seem to puncture the soft stone. So there. I mean, if you want to look around, there do seem to be some holes and edges in the rock face that could be for climbing, but it's gonna be. But it doesn't look like there is really. This is not a cliff face that's meant for rock climbing.
Well, then I'll just use my wire gun again. Or can I do that?
Certainly try. You can. So the.
I'm gonna get up a little bit higher than the robot boy. Try to.
To do so, you're going to have to disengage the wire gun, and then bear it and shoot again. So your default is going to be the dart gun or the dart wire, and that's a retractable wire.
The other one is to make a wire that connects like a trapeze.
That's going to be your multi-shot,
And I have to prepare that.
and it takes about a minute to switch out
Well, then I'll
at
just
the current level.
find that little crevice.
Okay.
To squeeze my tiny body.
Make an acrobatics check.
He's a small body man.
Alright, that's 23 plus proficiency. Two? Or
No, it
or
would just be-
acrobatics?
Yeah, it's just whatever your acrobatics is. Yeah. Or, yeah.
athletics.
Yeah. So with the 23, you are pretty able to actually kind of pivot yourself to a point where you're no longer putting weight on your wire gun. So you are pretty much locked onto the cliff face by pressing against both sides of these small little divots in the wall.
I'm gonna retract my wire too.
Yeah. With the free hand, you're able to retract your wire. It's going to bring us to the top of the round. The other, the Warforged figure is going to use its full movement to climb another 5 feet up the cliff face. It's now at 40 feet.
And then 50.
Of the 50. That brings us to Cytheris. Your turn.
For my bonus action, I would like to yell at. No. I would like to yell at Dwayne. I meant for you to cut him off at the top, you bumbling twit.
This is better, buddy. Just hold on.
You failed.
Just why?
And then I'm gonna cast Firebolt at him.
At the figure?
No,
Oh,
at Dwayne.
okay.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
at the bottom of the figure.
Okay.
At his feet, because the kid's on his back, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So at his feet, at the bottom,
Okay.
to try to knock him loose from his hold. And that's going to be a 14.
14. What's your armor class?
I don't even know.
Because he doesn't. He
Um,
never got armor.
Oh,
It would just
before
be-
it's the Warforged natural armor. 1 second.
I think it's 13 plus. 13 plus something? 13 plus dex. Or strength. Warforged are weird, man.
Did you take which failsafe did you take? Did you take Stunning Grasp, Plated Knuckles, or Recede?
I
think you might have-
done. Stunning grasp.
Okay. 1 second. Looking it up. Looking it up. I think we said. 1 second. Oh, I think you got to choose. Did you choose light, medium, or heavy armor?
Medium.
Medium. Okay, so it's going to be 13 plus your dexterity, plus your proficiency.
That misses. Unless his dex is 0.
I believe your dex is 0. So you have
That it hits.
8. Yeah, so 15. So go ahead and mark that down in your armor class. You have an armor class of 15, and that hits. Yeah. So go ahead and roll a 1d10.
Yay! How do you rate this? It's 5.
5. You'll watch as this directly up the cliff face. Actually, need you go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. See if you can get out of the way, because it is directly above you.
They said I know no boy.
That's a 6.
So you take 5 damage.
Ooh.
As this thing sears up the back.
The
And
15
you
hit
feel-
his armor class too?
What's your AC?
Damn, you don't even have armor?
High wires are yeah.
I do have leather armor.
It's gonna be
plus 2, right?
2.
Well, no, it's leather
Leather
armor.
armor's
13 plus dex.
I think it's 13 plus dex. Or it might be 12 plus dex.
It's one of the two.
I ain't gonna take it on that.
Leather 11 plus dex.
See, I told you I ain't gonna take it on that bed. Derek's like, it's
So 11 plus your dexterity. What's your dexterity modifier?
2.
2. So you have an AC of 13.
13.
Yeah.
That's a fool's bed for me.
So you take 5 damage as this thing arcs back, and what was your dexterity saving throw? 6. Okay. You are knocked loose from your perch, and you are now falling. But it also hits your target, which is going to make a dexterity saving throw, a modifier of 0. It is also falling.
He is also falling. With a child!
You watch as, coming loose from the Warforged figure, a small child begins falling backwards, with the Warforged falling backwards as well.
I try to catch him.
That's
The
going to bring us
forward
to
to the boy.
It's going to bring us to Rick's turn. Actually,
That's what I'm gonna try to do. Try to catch the boy.
make an athletics
Danielle.
saving throw.
Specifically, I know there's like 3 people falling.
Mm.
You said athletics?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Just take that. Just take it back. 10.
10.
Small
Are
boy.
you are you underneath?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
right
right
I ran
there.
directly underneath.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm both hands are out. I mean, small boy and a large figure. I'm just trying to use my body just as I don't care if it hits me in the face.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you take the brunt of this child's fall, and you are knocked prone as a small child
Yes.
is now laying on top of you. But you do have the child in your arms, and you notice that it is Daniel.
Is he conscious?
before we get to that.
Wait,
'Cause
also
that takes up
before
your
we-
action, so doing any other checks would use up an action as well. Unless you have any bonus actions you'd like to use. But that does take up your action.
I don't know if I don't know that. No, I'll leave
You'd have to have a specific class feat
No, that's all,
or
so.
yeah.
Nah, so I'd
Quick reflexes is your only one. That's
bonus action.
And for quick reflexes, that's
That's only for light range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's going to be the end of your turn,
Yes.
and that's going to bring us to Enigma. It is your move.
They're both falling, right?
Yeah, the Warforged is falling as well.
Has it hit the ground yet? Like, is it
It is currently the child has fallen on Rick, and the Warforged is actually going to fall as well, and it's going to take another 5 points of bludgeoning damage. It's going to knock it down. Well, what's your HP? It's not 10, is it? Is it less than 10?
I don't have that one yet.
It's probably it.
You gotta have health.
It's 10 plus your Constitution modifier. What's your Constitution modifier?
11.
So he's got one health.
You watch as this thing clang onto the rocks below. It begins trying to stand back up, but it looks pretty wobbly.
All I'm going to do is just go stand right next to it.
Okay.
Stand.
That's going to take your movement. You have an action and any other bonus actions maybe, but
That's all.
that's all. You're just going to look over. It's going to be your turn. Dwayne, it is your turn. You are currently falling.
Before I'd fall, I'm assuming my dart wires are already ready to go.
Yes.
Shoot into the wall.
Yeah. At the start of each new turn, it can retract.
Yes. Shoot into the wall before I die.
Go
It wasn't
ahead.
my intent to try to kill you.
It's alright.
Oh, you just
Alright.
scream as you're falling. I'm sorry, little man.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I know we had a rough day, but I didn't mean it.
Dex plus proficiency.
14.
14? Yeah, pretty easily enough you are able to shoot and hit the very broad face of the cliff. Just anywhere to stop your fall.
You would have had to have rolled a 1.
This doesn't go off jams.
You fire blindly into the air.
As you are falling and it bears the full brunt of your weight, you hear a clink in your wire gun as you kind of slam. You don't take any damage, but you do feel like you're going to feel some bruises in the morning, and you kind of notice your wire gun, and it seems like it's dinged up just a little bit.
That's fine. I ain't worried about that.
That's gonna be your action. If you have any other bonus actions, you can use that. Or is that a bonus action to fire? I think it's a full action.
It depends on
yeah.
how you made his class, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be an action for you. So you have any bonus actions or movement?
Well, I would like to.
You're hanging about 10 feet off the ground right now.
I'd like to look for a pathway down, climb down and track my thingy, just climb down to the ground as they do.
Yeah, you could probably take your full movement and very cautiously make your way down. It doesn't seem like there's any immediate danger at the moment, so it seems like if you wanted to take your way.
Well, 10 feet. Shoot.
That's
I
about-
might as well backflip.
Using your movement, you want to use a backflip to somersault off the. Make an athletic or make an acrobatics check.
That's a nat 20 plus 4. So.
Oh, by God.
With
Can't save the fucking kid, but
No.
I can goddamn do a backflip.
Exactly. Stick the landing.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking
Watch this, boys. And then I do a couple twirls and land on my feet. Yes.
awaiting the bows.
Thank you.
You monster.
Was it?
Say,
At the top of the round, the Warforged standing underneath Enigma is trying to get back up. It seems very broken down. Its metallic legs seem a little bit bent and out of shape. It is able to get up onto one knee, but that seems to be about all it can do. So there's the princess to your turn.
Well, I assume that there is a broken, battered machine man in front of me with another machine man that looks very identical standing on top of him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask the lower machine man on the ground if there's anything he would like to tell us about what's currently happening. So excuse me, sir, but you seem to have been running off with a child that's not yours.
It doesn't respond.
Planar sense.
Let me check the percentage real quick. So I gotta make sure it does. 1 second.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-boo.
Okay, planar sense, which is attuned to understanding of the lens. So at all times you are aware of which
it's
plane of
all times?
existence you reside on and are able to detect any undead, spirit, or fiend
Or
within 50
fiend
feet.
within 50 feet.
You are on the material plane. Nothing seems out of the ordinary there.
That I expected.
There does not appear to be any undead spirits or fiends in the nearby vicinity.
Upon examining him and looking at him and looking at him, is there any discernible difference? Or is...
As if Enigma had a twin.
Oh, Lord. This is concerning. I guess that's my turn.
And Rick,
I would like to use a perception check to see how Daniel's doing on the fall. I caught him, right?
are you doing like a... Or do you
See if he's like conscious. This,
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Medicine check?
Yeah.
Oh, you gave me this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe another different one. Let's see if maybe you're just Will Wheaton or not.
Ooh, that's a natural 20.
Oh, okay. You said that name, and I was like, don't you dare invoke his name at this table.
Don't you
dare
invoke that name at this table.
Damiel seems to be alive, but unconscious. All in all, no apparent injuries, but seems to be either passed out from fright or the adrenaline rush. But other than that, it seems
Okay.
to be okay.
Not knowing this enemy's still hostile, even though he has a guy over him. I'm just gonna back away from the whole fight a little bit with Danielle, bring a little safety.
Okay.
Probably like this, get a little closer to the center.
Use your movement. Yeah, you have half
Yeah,
movement with moving him, but
Yeah, I plan to move like 10, 15 feet.
great, perfect. And it's going to bring us to Enigma's turn. Still standing over this. It's like looking in a mirror.
I'm just gonna ask him, who are you?
Stares back. Wouldn't you like to know?
Again, concerning.
I'm not gonna do anything
Okay.
Is
Gonna bring
this
us to-
a douchey version of Enigma?
Dwayne is going to bring us to your turn.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm going to use I'm going to pull out my lasso.
Okay.
And I'm going to lasso that little robot.
You want to over to
Just
him?
in case. You never know.
So, how close are you getting to him?
I mean, I'm not 10, Big lash.
Are you gonna
Oh yeah, full thing.
make a range attack? Do it.
Yes, sir. That is a 18.
18. That's enough. You are able to, from a distance. Y'all watch as this lasso out of nowhere comes and tightens up on this still kneeling figure. Who's
You
now
have to
bound.
be the most extra dwarf man I have ever seen.
And now I'm gonna yell at the robot boy and be like, what the Sam hell you doing with that boy? You fucking pervert.
That's going to bring us to the top of the round, as it is still smiling up at Enigma. I wish I could see the looks on your faces when you meet everyone else. They cast Stunning Grasp on itself. 1. It's going to be enough to knock it out. You watch as it
Now it's unconscious.
and falls to the ground.
Unconscious
memory
or
card.
dead? Like that.
Shit.
You can check it out. Y'all are out of combat.
Yeah, I'll check it out. It's dead or unconscious.
Pulling this bitch's guts out.
Make it.
It'll
all
definitely
dead
be dead then.
Make it. Well, actually, it takes an extra 1d4 damage because it is technically wearing armor.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a 1d8. Not.
I haven't rolled dice in so long. I forgot.
I know. I don't. What's a die? It's gonna take an extra 4 points of damage, which it's gonna be enough to actually
It's good.
dislodge it with enough of its internal circuitry becoming jostled in the fall. It's gonna kind of seize up and crumble.
Okay, well, I'm gonna chalk this up as just another weird fucking experience in my life.
What the fuck is up with this goddamn town?
You know, I've wondered the same thing. Did you notice that he was you and you were him? Did you notice? So,
He said others.
yeah, so he said this other thing, and it made me think back to, you remember when we all woke up? And when we left? And when we were leaving, I guess would be the right way to put it. And there was that other body of one of us, and he was also not in fact alive. I would very much, maybe before we leave the town, go back there and see if that body is still there. I feel like something is very wrong.
It's at this point that you hear Damiel! Damiel! Shouting from behind, coming up the river. You see
Do we beat Dad here?
They went the other way.
Dumbass.
Hearing all the fucking commotion and shit.
you see Liven sprinting up. He's trying to survey these spots.
I wave him down. He comes up.
And he sprints towards you, his eyes perplexed by the seemingly lifeless body of the imposter Enigma on the ground and the real Enigma standing over top. He runs and kneels down. Is he? He's not. Is he okay? Is he alive?
He's unconscious.
What happened here?
We stumble across not Enigma climbing up the cliffside.
Who are you?
Wish I knew.
You really are an enigma. And with that, we will end tonight's session. Welcome back, boys.
Good search.
Well, it's good to see my initial thought was
At least semi right.
You got that right.
We're all we're maybe. Oh God. What if we're the clones and
Dun,
they're the real
dun,
ones?
dun.
There it is.
I'm like, what if I was wrong and we're not the real ones and they're clones, but
Now we are.
we're clones and they're the real ones? Are we the bad guys? Question mark.
It's all in perspective.
It's all a matter of perspective.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, thank you so much for joining episode 4. This will be up. We'll be getting it uploaded right after we're done here, so be able to watch it on Monday, October 7th. So yeah, we'll be here next Sunday to continue the story and figure out what is going on in Tennessee.
Do we level up?
And yeah, next week y'all get to level up.
Level 2.
Level 2.
I just want to know what I get.
That's going to be really fun. But yeah, thanks again so much for
I
joining us.
wonder what the mannequin would have got at level 2.
Right?
Well,
Who would have known?
anyway.
I know. Ironically,
known.
no. Ironically, we're gonna fight one at some point in time because
Yeah. There's one out there.
he was there. Great. You know what the worst part is?
How do you know we didn't kill him? That's what
No. You look at it this way. If they are all clones, and
Brandon just smiling.
you
away,
love this
stick
shit.
away.
You love this shit. This is the best part. Is us trying to discern your story. It's the best part of
This
fucking
is the best
writing.
part. This is awesome.
No. So if we are the originals and they're clones, as we level up, we will know what we can do, and when we encounter ourselves, it will be an easier fight because we'll know how to better counter ourselves. We have no fucking idea what he even does because he died before he even fucking did anything.
Good, because we're about to die by doing anything he do.
I thought he was gonna die. Totally does not try to kill you. Thought about it though. I totally meant for you to if you would have got to the top, this would have completely changed. Because then when he would have got to that last 5 feet, you just fucking kick him off Sparta style, and then we catch the kid and it's done.
I suppose.
But you're like, I'm gonna be some cool shit.
Hell yeah. And
That's where the dice
and
fuck you.
And you're doing that, landing the dismount.
It's so good to be back.
Goodbye.
It's so good to be back. Thank you so much, and have some good R&R.
God, I'm so ready for next Sunday.